Hi there. Welcome to a little bit of my day. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. Actually, to everyone, thanks for joining me. I'm Catherine from Canada, and I make junk journals. I prefer to call them artisan journals from old books, antique books, vintage books, fun books, and turn them into, I think, beautiful writing journals. So thanks for joining me. I have a few things I need to do today. And the first thing I need to take my camera downstairs because I found something cool while I was thrifting the other day. And I think was it yesterday? Things are becoming a blur for me. I know I've been absent for a little while and I've had appointments and obligations but today is a day for me, and I told my husband, I said, I'm staying home and I'm not even opening the door unless it's Amazon. And that happened. So I made Jeff Bezos a little richer today, but oh well. It meant I didn't have to leave my house. So let's head downstairs. Unfortunately, I'm warning you now, I'm going to have to hand hold my camera and I won't have my microphone with me. But otherwise, let's go down. We'll get that done and then I'll meet you back here. So we're downstairs and I don't think I've ever showed this before, but sometimes I forget things. This is our guest book for our wedding for my husband and I. We both have Irish ancestry, and we were going to Ireland for our honeymoon. And I don't like pictures of myself. And I don't think of myself as an unattractive person. I just think I'm like Chandler Bing. For some reason, the camera just does not like me. And so I didn't, many couples do this and they put their engagement announcement photo or, a beautiful portrait of themselves and have their guests sign the mat. So I was able to order this antique looking reproduction of an old map of Ireland. And we had to, because of its unusual shape, we couldn't just purchase one of the ready-made wedding mat frames, because you can get these ready-made. So we had to go to the framing store and have it made. And of course, I saw this frame and fell in love with it. And of course, I fell in love with probably the most expensive frame in the shop. And my husband said, well, of course, that's the one we have to have if that's the one you love. It's just beautiful. It's got a little bit of gold in it, and it's got a little bit of green in it. And I just thought that it made this look so nice. His family's from up here in Monaghan, and my family is from right in here in Roscommon. And I also have family from Derry, and I have family that were from Cork. And anyhow, I do have Tipperary. I have family that were from Tipperary. But the bulk of my family is from there it is, Roscommon. And anyhow, long story short, we had a very small wedding, and we had everyone we loved there, and we had them all sign it. That's my son Josh, J-O S. I think that's the H. Joshua. Anyhow, he was very clever. He was an adult when he did that. I love it. Anyways, so we were lucky enough to have both of our parents were still alive to see that happy day, which we just love. And our oldest grandchildren were very little. Mallory, look, her R is backwards, and a kiss and a hug, and Nolan with kisses and hugs. It was just, and we've lost a lot of them now. We've lost our parents since then. Aunt Birdie, that was my beloved father-in-law, my first father-in-law. The adult in my life, my person, as they say on Grey's Anatomy. He was my person, and I had to become a grown-up when he passed away. Anyhow, I'm going on, and so we love this, and we have this in our living room. And I found something yesterday when I was thrifting. I found this, and it's brass. And has that been repaired? I think it's been repaired, which I don't mind because it looks good to me. It's a little bit more than I usually pay for things, and it wasn't blue tag day. I don't have much luck on the color days, but I thought this would look stunning. Hold on. Up here. So, unfortunately, I don't have a tripod so that you can watch me do it. So I am going to put this up there, and then I will be right back. So, I know I've got brass colored nails somewhere. Do you think I could find them? I couldn't. But I found silver ones, and that's what your 14 karat gold marker is for. And I colored the top of them gold to go through, because there's two tiny little holes on each side, and and they're not even, so I had to hold it up and make sure that it was centered. So I had to put a mark where the center is, and then hold it where I wanted it, and use a pencil and put a dot there and a dot there. I'm going to pre-hammer the holes part way, put it in, and then finish hammering. And if I need to, I'll touch up again with this little baby. So I'll be back again. Sorry, no tripod. So I ended up finding brass colored nails when I looked in my, you know how everyone's got one of those drawers in the kitchen that just you throw everything in it? And I thought, I've got a cup of odds and ends nails in there. I'm going to check. And sure enough, I did. And so I used those instead. And there it is. And I love it. I hung it slightly higher than the painting. So tall people, it might look strange. I like it there. I didn't want, if I put it any lower, you were not going to be able to see the pretty dovetailing of those ribbons. And I'm just really thrilled with it. I think it looks really beautiful. And yeah, I'm a happy girl with my wedding guest book. Our wedding guest book, I should say. But you know, weddings are the bride, the smart groom usually will say, "Tell me what to wear, where to be," and I'll be there. I'll be the guy at the front wearing a boutonniere. And my sweetie pie, he did have a few requests that were very nice and very reasonable. But for the most part, he let me just go nuts. And this is one of our favorite things. And it gets hung right in our living room. And I don't think, certainly a week doesn't go by that we don't reminisce over all the signatures on it. Even, now, where is she? Because I said to her, you do not have to come. We will take videos and you stay comfy where you are. Where is she? Oh, there she is, right there. My daughter Jordan had just had Fiona 5 days before. Was it 5 days before? 6 days before? And she was at the wedding. Oh my goodness. There with this tiny little beautiful baby in a sling. And there's my mom. And my mom by then had dementia. And I'm not sure she knew she was necessarily at a wedding, but she knew that she was enjoying herself very much. She knew it was me, and she loved Dan, so that's why she signed Mom. But I'm quite sure she signed all these other names because she saw so many familiar faces, and it could possibly be that maybe the wedding was for one of them. So that's why she also signed Nana and Jerry, because she always went by Jerry, but her full name was actually Geraldine with a G. Why she spelled her Jerry with a J, I don't know. I think it was to throw everyone off. But that's my mom who signed that there. So that was sweet. By the time, I think the next wedding was my niece, and she wasn't sure who was getting married. A few times she said to me, now this is whose wedding? And I would say, it's so-and-so. I don't want to, it's private. And she'd say, oh yes, isn't it a lovely day? But here you can tell, I think she knew, she had a feeling it was my wedding. But just in case, she covered all her bases. All right, I spent way too much time on this. I'm so thrilled with that. I think it looks really, really nice. And I'm just going to head back on upstairs to my desk. Sorry if I'm making you nauseated. We'll take one last. I'm going to head back upstairs to my desk because we've got a little job to do up there as well. So hold on. Okay, back up in the room, and I've got an extra piece of paper down because, of course, we want to preserve the beauty of this. I don't know why. I need to put down a fresh paper. I think I can still muck this up a bit more, but I still don't want to get glue on it for any reason, but I do write myself notes and take, messages for myself and write it down quickly, and then I transfer it to into my journal. So we've got a task to do. So I'm going to bring the camera in closer. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll remember I did these the other day. and the good old measurement, the combination of peroxide and vinegar and salt, and in they go. These were shiny, shiny, shiny silver. I should see if I've got any and I can show you. I guess what does it matter? But you know me. No, can't find them. They must be over in my metal box. So, very shiny, brand new looking silver. And I'm not really a silver kind of girl. I prefer yellow gold, brass, rubbed bronze. Is that what it's called? I like that. I don't know, warmer shades. But, you know, no disrespect to people who love silvery colors. That's everybody's got their preferences. So I didn't necessarily want these to lose their silver. Hold on, I think somebody's into something. She had a little tiny piece of paper. Probably wouldn't have hurt her, it would just digest, but with puppies, I know she's considered an adult right now, but in her mind, she's still a puppy. I am. So, anyhow, I wanted them to not look so shiny. So, these were stubborn. I ended up, some things rust so quickly, I honestly can put them in and 20 minutes later, they're ready to come out. And, these ones were just being so stubborn, and I was negotiating with them. Like, I was getting to the point where I was saying, please, I just stop being so shiny, stop looking so new. And I think we did okay. I am concerned. Normally I would rinse them under water. But I have done that before with stubborn ones, and I've completely rinsed off what little rust had been created and was simply floating around in the water and giving me hope. There was the orange water and that yummy looking orangey foam, and they had held their ground against the war with the hydrogen peroxide mixture. So, so now I know better. If I'm concerned at all, I don't rinse. But I'll tell you what I do, because you can still get a really cool look. I give them a brushing afterwards, because there will be powder on them, because I simply scoop them out of the mixture, out of the liquid, and left them to dry on the paper towel with the rusty remains of the foam on them. But I'm not convinced that they are prepared to cooperate, and I have ways of making them cooperate, and then they actually do still end up looking quite cool. Now, by the time you're done this, your fingers will look like you have chain smoked 2 packs of cigarettes with your left hand if you're a right-handed person. But you know, it's what we do for our art, right? So, and I only did a few just to see if I like them, and if not, I will probably either redonate or resell, because I have a lot of these. And someone who enjoys shiny silver may as well enjoy them, because I won't use them as shiny silver. Alrighty. always keep a dry paintbrush handy that you've never used for wet things. Everyone needs a little artist's broom on their desk. Dollar Tree. Okay, so there we go. That's done for the most part. I'm not looking to get them extremely clean. The next thing you'll need is a pair of crummy tweezers. And you can see I've used these before for what I'm going to do. You need crummy tweezers that don't really, aren't precious to you. I think these ones will still work. They have a bit of buildup on them, and I probably should clean them with some acetone, but that's not happening today. These are precious to me. These are my Tweezerman tweezers. Yes, I do like using them. I get an excellent grip with these tweezers. And then, of course, there's my tweezers that I saw Anna using in over at Made by Grenath. She uses this kind, and I thought I had to have these, and I ordered some. So I have these ones. I'm still getting used to, they do the reverse. When you squeeze, they open, and when you let go, they hold it. But these are precious. This might work nicely, especially because it's got that tiny little point there. But I don't want to make them mucky, and this next thing is going to make them mucky. So I'm just going to do what I can with this. And then again, Dollar Tree, Dollarama, whatever your dollar store is, just get some clear nail polish. And this will serve two purposes. So what it does is it seals it for anyone who's nervous around rust. I'm not nervous around rust. Rust got a bad rap from what I have researched, because I wondered why people are going, oh, you have to seal it. And I thought, why? Is that just an old wives' tale? It's not really an old wives' tale. It's an old wives' tale that got elaborated on. What happened was, at some point on places like farms and such, when nails would get dropped into manure, and they start rusting in that wet, moist manure. And if you stepped in it, the flaky rust, if it pierced you, whether your foot or maybe you picked some up and it pierced your hand or whatever, the rusty flakes that now have bacteria on them can enter your bloodstream, and that's when it's dangerous. These, I promise you, have never been in manure. So apparently for the average person, good old regular rust, it's like dirt. We will all ingest a certain amount of it in our lifetime, in fact. So that's your little trivia for the day. Then I just start polishing. And what this does is I find it enhances, first of all, the color of your rust. And that rusty foam almost becomes the color of your clear nail polish. And it adheres whatever those flakes are that are still stuck to it. So that's why I said don't be too vigorous. I'm just going to put a little inside in case when I hammer or plier it down, pinch it down onto the corner, I don't want any rusty crumbs sticking somehow to the cover of my book. So then your rusty book corner, metal book corner, now looks really cool. And if you were worried that it was going to, if you rinsed it, that all your work was going to rinse right down the drain, now you can, there we go. Now it would be sealed right onto it. Plus, it just has a really lovely glow to it. I've done it with my favorite bulldog clips. And do you think I can find any of them either? Oh, here we go. Oh, I don't have any polished ones of these. Maybe we'll do one of these too while I'm here, because this will also look really cool. Now these, I probably could have rinsed off, but I just really like what happens with these when I'm thinking, hold on while I think. I was hunting for something that I could clip this to. So I find with these ones, rather than that's better. Rather than holding them with tweezers, I pinch them onto something not needed, like a popsicle stick or the end of an old paintbrush, that sort of thing. And then I will do the same thing. These ones take a little bit longer because I really like to cover it with all the areas. But don't be afraid if this is a new bottle of nail polish. Don't be afraid. By the time this nail polish is about halfway used up, it will be an orangey color just from rust particles going back into it. You can see it starting to show up on the end of the brush, and that's okay. You'll still get really, really great, you'll get great sealing, you'll get a great look, and then I save these. I always tell our local Chinese food place that we like, we don't need chopsticks. We use forks because we can't figure out chopsticks. And I said, so you can save them. And they send them anyways. So maybe they're hoping we'll take the time and figure it out, but we're so hungry. We just want to get into the Chinese food. But I've learned that they're really helpful actually in my studio. So I still have way too many of them. So I still say to her, please don't send any chopsticks. And they do. Anyhow, and they are useful for many different things in the studio. Stirring paint. You shouldn't use your brush to mix when you're mixing paints. You'll lose a lot of your paint way up and ruin your brush. Use a stick to stir your paints while if you're mixing and blending to create a shade. So use a chopstick, and it's wood, so it can go into your recycle bin. So you can see here, see how it just gives it a really warm glow. And I just go in and get inside there. You can take these bulldog clips apart. They are 3 pieces, and they can be taken apart if you want to do that. I've figured out over experimenting, it's really not necessary. It will, this just suffices to get as much as you can see of what's showing. Polish it. And then if you want, once it's dry, you can go back if those 2 little spots there bother you. You can go back once the whole thing's dry, pinch it open, move your chopstick over to a dry spot and paint those. So see what I mean? Here, I'll get one of the unpainted ones, and I'll show you the difference between this and this. Isn't that cool looking? And it's just Dollar Tree clear polish. And whatever you've rusted. I've even been known to take the time using my tweezers to use nail polish on bulb pins, rusty bulb pins. Again, not because, especially with bulb pins, I really think that you're overdoing worrying. But in case you are worrying about poking yourself with a rusty bulb pin, even though you can, there's no manure. I live in farm country, but my neighborhood is not in the farmyard. So my bulb pins have never been near manure. So, but sometimes I want just that shiny glow. So that's what I will do. And I usually will just sort of rest it like that, let it dry, and I'll get back to this. So see right there, see how I can see that flake there? I have a feeling that's going to try and pop right off, and there's going to be that shiny metal book corner, and I just want it glued right down. So nail polish it is. For a while I was using a glossy spray. I'd lay them all out, glossy spray, and I just really found that it was a really supreme waste of glossy sealant and exposure to the fumes, and you sprayed more on the paper than you did on the item that you were trying to seal. And this is just one of those things. It's like fussy cutting. It just is, it's relaxing, and I can just sit here and do this and listen to music and talk to my little dog. There we go. I don't do it in the living room because I'm very clumsy, and this would all end up all over my couch or Chesterfield or sofa, whatever you call it. When I was growing up, we called it a Chesterfield. And I'm sure that that's just the name of a brand. You know how Kleenex is actually facial tissue, but everyone calls them Kleenexes because Kleenex sort of did it first. So they just all get called Kleenexes, even though they're not all Kleenex brand, they're facial tissues. Did you know that they were first designed for removing makeup? Yeah. They were designed to say the newest invention. Ladies, get your cold cream and use one of our facial tissues, Kleenex brand facial tissues, to remove your makeup each night. And then, of course, it was soon discovered that they were handy for other things like blowing your nose. There's another little tidbit. I'm just chock full of trivia today for you. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to continue doing this till all these are done. I love them. Now I'm happy. And actually now I'm thrilled. I really love the way these look. And Sometimes I use them on books and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I really, really love when a book has a yummy worn out corner. But sometimes the corners are just so bendy, or else they've been literally cracked and bent and they're going to fall off. So then you do a little bit of hidden repair work that your end paper will cover, and then you use some glue to strengthen you flake the papers apart, fan them apart, put glue in between and pinch them shut, and then you put one of these on the end, and it's all cool. So thanks for joining me and watching me transform. See, look at that. That's shiny under there. Oh, there we go. Now you can see that's shiny under there. I think they were going to try and get away with something, but no. Ha 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 ha. We have ways of making them cooperate. So thanks for joining me today, and I will, tomorrow I have another obligation I need to be at, but probably the following day I'll be able to record and have it ready for upload by Saturday. So let's cross our fingers, and I'd love to be able to get together again with you very soon. Take care. If you enjoyed this video, if you're still here, I hope you'll take a moment and click on the like and even say hi down below, and I'll say hi back. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll think about subscribing. I don't always teach little tutorial type things like this, full of handy dandy other trivia that you'll never need. But sometimes there's something to learn here. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.